How do you even choose a magical name?
Oh my god, it's so simple. Okay, so you take a time of day and then an element and then your favorite animal. So like, I would be 5 a.m. water kitty.
That's bullshit. I always heard that it would be the color shirt you're wearing, last food you ate, and the street you grew up on. So mine would be plaid scalloped potatoes church.
Okay, that is not right because it's supposed to be a spooky location plus a kitchen utensil plus a magical creature, and that's why I'm backwater turkey baster dragon.
Millennial Incantations.
Hey, Mom. Hi, I'm Siren.
I'm Jamie.
I'm David.
And you're watching Millennial Incantations.
And today we're going to be talking about magical names.
Which is an alternative name used by a magical practitioner to differentiate their spiritual life from their mundane life.
There is an origin myth about how this whole practice of taking on a magical name started. It's rooted in paleo-pagan covens that allegedly existed in Europe. People believe that they used to take on fake names when they would go into their covens so that if any of them got caught by a witch hunter, they could not give away the names of any other witches because they didn't really know them.
In medieval times, they said that a sign of witchcraft was when the devil would baptize a witch and give them a whole new name.
The problem with all of that is it's basically a bunch of crap. Nobody can really prove any of this. When you read this stuff on the internet, it's all just general. Nobody has any sources cited. And I guess the biggest problem is that most of these early alleged witch covens, and definitely these satanic covens, never really existed in the first place.
One practice that we can verify in the Gardnerian and Alexandrian traditions, an initiate would choose a name, and during their initiation ritual, the high priestess would bestow upon them this new name, and that's how they would be referred to whenever they would join the circle. I know.
You don't say.
I did.
And nowadays, how magical names are used is we're taking the old ways of doing things and then kind of breathing new life into them. It's basically allowing you to transform yourself and empower yourself into who you want to be when you enter the circle, but it also provides the secrecy and protection that it used to, just in case you're still in the broom closet and you're not quite comfortable with people knowing your true identity.
So even though these old myths about using names for secrecy and protection are based in utter crap, it actually still has an application for real people right now.
Yeah, absolutely.
So I guess the more traditional use of a magical name would be to separate your regular self from your magical self. You take on a magical name as you enter the circle, and suddenly you're not in your regular life, you're in your magical spiritual life. The name is just something you wear to help get yourself into that place. Sort of the same feeling you get when you walk into a church.
And a name is really, I guess, a catalyst for transformation. When you refer to yourself as something else, you're basically changing your identity. You're shape-shifting and you're becoming something that you believe is powerful. And because of that, you are powerful, which is really why a lot of trans and queer people, whenever they're transitioning, will take on a new name. They are donning the mantle of the person they wish to be or that they should be, their true self, and they're becoming who they should be, who they are.
I also want to talk about drag kings and queens and drag names. Drag names are a great parallel to magical names. A drag queen or king can take on a new name and suddenly, they have this secret identity. They can go and be this outrageous performer under this one name and nobody really associates them with their legal name. So taking on their drag name helps them become this new person when they go onto the stage. They're no longer so-and-so, now suddenly they're Rhoda Horse or Candy Warhol or Delilicious. And those names are totally transformative and empowering, and just fun and really help them get into their persona and be this fabulous entertainer that they are.
One of the most interesting things about magical names is how deeply rooted in history it is. Even in Judaism, there is an ancient practice where the person who knows the true name of God, if they say the true name of God, they hold all the power over all of his creations. In this ancient mythology, there was only one person who knew the true name of God throughout one entire lifespan. I thought that was so interesting. And still with Judaism, there's a tradition where if a lot of children pass away in one family, they name the next child who's born Altar, which from Yiddish translates to English as old. And in this way, it makes it so the angel of death cannot take another child because he doesn't know the child's true name.
That whole true name of God thing. Angel season 4, totally. Am I right?
Yeah,
Oh my
after
gosh.
Season 4.
finish watching all of these videos, watch that.
Angel season 4. All of it. You'll feel horrible.
Yeah,
afterward.
you will. Yeah, you'll feel pretty bad.
It gets you right in the soul. Like, Angel doesn't have one.
He does have
Oh,
one.
jeez.
That's the crux of this show. Speaking of souls, some people believe that your soul has a name that it carries with it through all of your lives. We don't have a whole lot of literature on that subject ourselves, but if you are familiar with this practice, slide into our DMs, let us know about it, because we are real curious.
Slide into them DMs, girl.
So, like, as I love to say, we don't have any sources. We don't have any proof. But it might be a thing.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah, so, hit a girl up, let us know.
What I do have proof about is ancient Egyptian mythology about names. The sun god Ra allegedly created existence by speaking the true name of every single thing. So he created every animal and plant and everything by speaking their name, and from his breath and words they sprang into being. And this is a great story about the goddess Isis, who totally trumped Ra by tricking him into giving her his true name, and then when she had it, he could never defeat her. She had his name, so she had power over him.
And she still do.
And she still does.
She still do. Speaking of power, another culture that has reference of true names is Scandinavian culture, where there were some mythological creatures that could only be defeated, like the Nyx, by knowing their true name.
So that's like the same thing.
Yeah, and then that's how you defeat them. You say their true name to them, which is really cool.
Damn.
Then they're done.
Blammo!
So there's this book that I read as a kid, and a lot of pagans like to reference it, A Wizard of Earthsea by Ursula K. Le Guin. In that series, everybody had two names. They had their real name that their mother gave to them when they were born, and then they had a nickname the rest of the world would know them by. If anybody learned your real name, they would have power over you. And in a world full of wizards, that was like dangerous.
In another literary series, The Dresden Files by Jim Butcher, if somebody knew your full and complete name, they would also have power over you. They would have to know how to speak it phonetically and exactly as you would phrase it yourself. So if they could do this, they could pretty much do whatever they wanted with you.
So just like Rumpelstiltskin.
Just like Rumpelstiltskin.
Just like
Rumpelstiltskin.
Rumple. That's actually really fascinating because we have this like tradition that begins in early Egypt and sort of like carries on through other cultures and makes its way into literature and pop culture. So that's actually pretty amazing and powerful.
I read online earlier that the fairy tale of Rumpelstiltskin is actually about 4,000 years old.
Dang.
Yeah.
He looked really good in Once Upon a Time then.
He does, even before that crocodile.
Seriously. I mean, actually, he looked really good if we're being serious.
Swamp mud will do wonders to the complexion. Speaking of swamps,
Aren't we always?
We're talking about Jamie again.
hurtful and accurate. I'd like to talk about Northern England, if you don't mind. The boggarts of Northern England. Oh, and a boggart is essentially a swamp ghost. Hey.
Boo!
Woo! If you gave a boggart a name, then it would have power. It would cause chaos and destruction and all this crap. That mythology kind of flips it on its ear. Instead of you having power over it, it has power over you.
So who are these people going around giving boggarts names?
Girl, I don't know. It sure should I meet. You think I even have a passport
That
to
is
get to
not
Northern England?
smart.
It's not.
It's not smart.
It's not the smartest.
So we're going to advise you meet any swamp ghosts, don't give them a name.
My mom made that mistake.
I know how you people like to name everything. It's like this one.
Everything has a name,
Yes, it does, Pocahontas.
and it's rude not to call people by their name.
Don't call boggarts by their names.
Do not. Do
Don't.
not. So, speaking of boggarts, Catholic nuns. We should probably edit that out.
I think it's
Right.
fine.
I think it'll be fine.
Okay. So kind of bringing it back to Wiccans with their magical names, Catholic nuns will sometimes take on an entirely new name once they join the convent. It's actually basically the same idea altogether, just in a different religious group. A nun might join a convent, and then especially if the word Mary is in her convent's name, she would take on the name of Sister Mary and then usually a saint after that, basically signifying her transition into her new life, devoted to God.
So really the overarching theme of all of this is that names have power. They're your identity. When you call somebody's name, you expect them to turn around. Without any sort of magical influence, you are able to summon somebody. Like when I scream your name,
She ignores you, but other people. Yeah.
everyone ignores me. Beside the point. Names have power.
So we did want to talk a little bit about how you might choose your magical name.
One way you can do this is through a name generator.
And we are totally prepared to give you some examples.
We have a website, and we'll give you that website. I've got some schmutz
Hello.
on my. Got some schmutz on my.
Oh, honey.
Okay, so this is called mookiechick.co.uk. You just click make my witch name.
Yeah, let's do it.
It gives us the option for how many we want.
Oh, several.
Okay, so we're gonna
20.
We're gonna make 20.
Yeah.
And we're just gonna list off our faves.
Abracadabra.
Oh, what a great picture.
Oh my god.
Okay, first one, just off the top of the hat, Sidonia Crescent the Sorceress.
Yes,
Also known as
blood.
Sidonia Croissant.
Sidonia won a croissant.
Sounds flaky.
Look at that. Look at that.
Glamoria Goat Whisperer. The Night Caller. Didn't Jennifer Love Hewitt play her?
I thought that said catnip.
Doesn't it? No. Oh, my glasses.
Catnip, cantrip.
Obsidian catnip, the one who lets go.
Oh, poodle.
Definitely not me.
That right there. This is you.
Octavia Merrymeet, the Talisman Keeper.
That is your name.
Yes.
Ariadne Fourpaws, the dreamer.
That's a lot of pause. That gives me pause. Oh, no, this is David. Willow Bitter Herb, the one who will not rest.
I love it.
New name.
Onyx Moonshine, who reveals the hidden.
I do like moonshine.
I've never had moonshine.
It's like motor oil.
It's good with cherries in it.
You think literally everything is good with cherries.
Well,
in it.
it is.
So those are just a couple examples of what a name generator can provide for you.
You might find that some of those are a little bit overwrought.
But if that's your thing, go for it.
Yeah, we're not here to judge you based on your stupid name.
Maybe a little bit.
So you could totally use a name generator for inspiration, but maybe just cut off 5 or 6 of the names until you're down to 1.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then maybe go in a different direction.
Like we're your friends
Yeah.
and we're just trying to help.
Just trying to help. So another thing that you could do, we have this book. This is the new book of Magical Names by Phoenix McFarland. This was totally useful when we were doing research for the video. And it has so many just suggestions in here. So yeah.
You're in my light.
Oh my god, I'm trying to tell a story.
Normally. So, there are a couple different ways that people can come up with their magical names too, and they just get inspiration from everyday things. Mythology and nature,
Animals, crystals,
Herbs, colors.
weather, or even your family.
or
Just-
old family names.
Just
Yeah.
get inspired.
Whatever makes you feel great about you. Honey, that's your name.
Because that's what matters.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You.
We joke a lot, but literally what everybody else thinks when it comes to this.
If you like it, just do it.
Yeah, do it. It's gonna be awesome.
It's gonna be amazing.
Dude, look at you.
You're
Yeah.
great.
So once you've picked out your new magical name, for some people you might want to do a ritual to honor that change.
Some people like to go the route of a year and a day where they just spend that time studying and learning, and then they kind of go through their own little solitary ritual, or they get initiated into a coven where they transform into their new persona and they start using their new magical name.
Or you might decide not to. You might just pick your name and roll with it and decide that a ritual isn't necessary at all.
A couple of ways that you can use your name when the time comes, and if you decide to use one, you can use it during ritual, online,
To sign your book of shadows, sign your spells.
to publish a book.
Oh yeah, it's totally common, especially in pagan publishing. Sometimes you're even expected to have a magical name on the cover of your book. Think of authors like Starhawk, Silver Ravenwolf.
Ray Buckland.
There are a couple of authors that just have chosen not to use a magical name. Bonowitz is one of them, right?
Oh yeah, tons of them. It's by no means necessary.
Ray
Yeah.
Buckland.
Having a magical name doesn't necessarily add or take away from your credibility.
It's again going back to that point of separating your magical life from your mundane life. Silver Ravenwolf, I think her name, what is her real name?
It's like Janina something.
It's like Janina or Julian or something like that. When you think Silver Ravenwolf, you think this, like...
Name generator.
Yes. You think of an author that, although we haven't taken all of our practices from her, I feel like she roots very deeply for many Wiccans. But along with that, there are quite a few reasons not to do it.
If you find the process of choosing a magical name and calling yourself that name to be silly, then it doesn't have that meaning for you. So you might as well not. Another reason people might not do it is if you're worried about other people ridiculing you for your magical name. God knows, we would never.
We would
Never. We would
touch
never.
Never.
Never ever do that on camera.
Never.
Never.
Silver.
It could just be that nothing seems right yet. You may never get to the point where something seems right for you and you just want to keep your birth name. I'm just Jamie. And I haven't found anything that fits for me and I don't know if I ever will, and that's okay.
There's absolutely no reason to wait to go further on your magical or spiritual or Wiccan journey until you find the right name. If you don't have it yet, don't let that hold you back. And if you don't want one, don't let that hold you back.
There is no one right way to worship when it comes to Wicca or the craft. If any book or just person tells you that you need to have a magical name before anything goes further, it doesn't. Your journey in the craft is your journey and no one else's, and it's the exact right journey that you're on.
Moreover, you don't assume an identity and then begin a journey all the time. Sometimes the journey is your way to your identity. In most cases it is. So the journey itself will help you find a name, if that's what you choose. Sometimes you'll end up finding out that your name's already magical, David. So you just keep it, you know? The point is that you love it, and that it's fun, and that you enjoy it. And if you are not getting joy out of it, then what is the point of doing anything? Quite honestly.
For real.
Yeah. I think what you two just said really speaks to the core of who we are and what we want to do with this channel. The point is that your faith should make you happy. If choosing a magical name makes you feel powerful, it gives you joy, it gives you meaning, then you should totally do it, and you should feel no shame in it. But if it doesn't, then don't do it. There's no reason to trap yourself in some old practice whose meaning doesn't apply to you in your life.
Yes.
Thank you! Ow!
You're welcome. Thank you so much for watching Millennial Incantations here on YouTube, and thank you very much for joining us for a discussion about magical names.
And thank you for watching one of our first videos.
Oh my gosh.
Oh my gosh.
Yay. Make sure to give this video a big thumbs up and to hit that subscribe button. And if you loved us, make sure to tell your friends.
Yeah.
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 All of them.
If you have any.
Every friend. You have friends.
If you haven't alienated them with your silly magical name.
Yeah.
But if you have, tell them anyway.
Of course, we always like to hear some feedback. So if you know of any other cultures that have practiced magical names or even true names, you know, drop it in the comments.
Tell us all about it.
Or if you just like to share your magical name, I personally am always looking for
yes.
inspo.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Please tell us your magical name.
Please.
We do want inspo.
Totally.
We can be friends.
Yeah. Okay, bye.
Bye. Okay. No. It's a spooky location plus a kitchen utensil plus a magical creature. So, I cannot do this.
I will kill you. We were so close.
I know.
All right, start from the top.